never thought I'd be the person telling a story like this, but here we are. I'm 29, and for the last 2 years, I thought I was in a committed relationship. I thought I'd found someone I could build a future with, someone who'd be there for me when life got hard. Instead, just days before I was set to give birth to my first child, I found out everything I thought I knew about him was a lie. When we first met, he told me he was divorced. He said the marriage had ended, that things were finalized, and that he had 2 kids with his ex-wife. That didn't bother me. People have pasts, and I respected that he was honest about his kids. I thought that was a sign of maturity. We didn't live in the same city, but he traveled here often for work, and it worked for us. We saw each other consistently. He made me feel like I was his person. As our relationship deepened, we started talking about the future. When I got pregnant, he promised me that he would move to my city so we could raise our baby together. He said all he needed to do was wrap up a few loose ends with his ex-wife, and then we'd be set. I believed him. I imagined us decorating a nursery together, late-night feedings as a team, sharing the weight of new parenthood. But that isn't what happened. Month after month, his move kept getting delayed. First it was work, then COVID, then something about housing. He always had an excuse. But I kept giving him the benefit of the doubt. I told myself, he wants to be here. He just can't yet. I wanted so badly to believe him. Then I reached the very end of my pregnancy, 39 weeks. My doctor scheduled an induction for Monday. I was nervous, excited, overwhelmed. But more than anything, I wanted my partner there with me, except he had gone quiet. He wasn't answering my texts the same. He wasn't picking up the phone. He was distant, and I could feel something was wrong. So I finally confronted him. I told him flat out, I'm about to give birth to our child. What is going on? You said you'd be here by now. Where are you? That's when the truth came out. He told me he wasn't divorced. He wasn't even separated. His wife didn't know about me, or about the baby, or about any of it. He had been lying to me for 2 years, living a double life, playing house into cities, stringing me along while his wife believed they were still married. I remember just sitting there, my phone in my hand, my stomach huge, my baby moving inside me, and feeling like the air had been sucked out of the room. I felt stupid. I felt betrayed, and I felt so angry, not just for me, but for my baby, for his wife, for everyone he had lied to. He told me he felt backed into a corner, as if somehow I had forced his lies to unravel, as if me carrying his child to term was some kind of trap. I couldn't believe the audacity. I told him to get out of my life, to leave me alone, to stop pretending he was going to be a partner or a father when he couldn't even tell the truth. But then came the fear. I had prepared myself to raise this baby with someone else, to have support, to share responsibility. And suddenly I realized it was just me. I was about to become a single mom overnight. The next few days were a blur of panic and planning. I called lawyers. I started gathering every text and screenshot I had every time he had lied about being divorced, every promise he had made. I wanted to make sure that legally, financially, he would be held accountable. I couldn't control whether he would be a good man, but I could make sure he supported his child. And then Monday came. I was induced. And after a long, exhausting labor, I gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby girl. The moment I held her in my arms, the noise in my head went quiet. Everything, the betrayal, the anger, the fear, it all faded because nothing else mattered in that moment. She was here. She was safe. She was mine. We were discharged quickly because of COVID restrictions. And suddenly, it was just the 2 of us at home. It was terrifying and wonderful all at once. The nights were long. The feedings were constant. But I looked at her tiny face, her little hands curling around my finger, and I knew I could do it. And then, a week later, his wife called me. He had finally confessed to her. She told me she had her suspicions, but wanted to trust her husband. She wasn't angry at me. She knew I hadn't known. Instead, she was kind. She asked how I was doing. She wanted to make sure the baby and I had everything we needed. And through my postpartum tears and exhaustion, I cried on the phone to her because here was this woman, also betrayed, also hurt, and she was still showing me compassion. She told me she was divorcing him, and I told her good for her. We even laughed a little about what a mess he was. We made plans to meet up after the pandemic to talk about him over coffee, and maybe even become friends through this chaos. As for him, he never showed up. He never called. He never asked about the baby. But I'm not waiting for him anymore. I have a lawyer. I'm getting child support arranged through the courts. I'm making sure my daughter will have what she needs, with or without him. And as for me, I'm healing. Slowly. I still feel stupid sometimes. Still feel like I should have seen the red flags. But I remind myself, I am not stupid. I am not trashy. I am not naive. I'm just a woman who loved someone who lied to her. And now I'm a mother who will do anything to protect her child. This isn't the life I thought I'd have, but it's ours now. And honestly, looking at my daughter, I wouldn't trade her for anything.